What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to talk about Premium Booster 02. You see, there are a bunch of cards in Premium Booster 02. There's a bunch of new cards in Premium Booster 02. And when we get new cards, we get rulings about new cards that we need to have a chat about. And the lovely folks over on the official website over in Japan have gone and given us those rulings. So let's start off having a little bit of a gander at Kobe. Now, Kobe is a 4-cost 5k, counter plus 1,000. And during your opponent's turn, if your leader is Navy, this character gains an extra 1,000 power. And when attacking, you get to KO one of your opponent's characters with an original power of 3,000 or less. And then if you've got 6 or fewer cards in hand, you get to draw one. Okay, sounds like a plan. Well, if I've got 6 or fewer cards in my hand, if I don't KO an opponent's character with an original cost of 3,000 or less, can I still draw a card? The answer is yes. It is all one skill. It is not you have to KO a 3,000 or less in order to draw a card. It's all one skill, so you do as much as you can. If you cannot KO but you can draw, you get to draw. Job's a good un. Now, Trafalgar Law, which I need to mention, has phenomenal artwork by the wonderful Akira Igawa, my favourite artwork in the set. And what we got from Trafalgar Law is, we got a 6-cost 7k counter plus 1,000, and, well, once per turn, yours or your opponent's, if this character would leave the field due to an opponent's effect, it can instead get minus 2,000 power, but only once per turn the second effect will get it. Also, when attacking one of your opponent's characters, gets minus 2,000 power for the turn. Well, if I haven't used the once per turn effect yet, and the character's current power is 0 or less, and it is about to leave the field due to an opponent's effect, can I still give it minus 2,000 power? Yeah. It's going to be very weak, but there's absolutely nothing to stop you doing that. You are good. Now, we also need to have a chat about Jewelry Bonney here. There's 3 rulings about Bonney. This is one of the more interesting cards in the FAQ. And we've got a 3-cost 3k counter plus 1,000. And we've got a blocker. Probably don't need to know too much about that. We've had blockers for a while. But when your opponent attacks, once per turn, activate up to one of your Don cards, which seems pretty nice. So you're blocking while activating Don. That sounds good to me. Well, when my opponent's character attacks, if I activate a Don with this effect, can I then use Jewelry Bonney's, the leader Jewelry Bonney's skill, immediately to rest that Don and use Jewelry Bonney's leader skill? Yeah, of course you can. It's actually one of the great things about this particular Jewelry Bonney, and I assume one of the reasons why we've got the card. Bonney's got on your opponent's attack once per turn. You can rest one of your Dom to rest one of your opponent's leader or character cards. So your opponent attacks. You then get to activate this Bonney skill, which lets you activate one of your Don. You then have a Don open to use Bonney's leader skill to immediately rest one of your opponent's leader or character cards. To put it another way, you can use this Bonney to help you activate your Bonney leader skill even where you have no open Don. And remember the deal with One Piece, when skills activate, you get to choose the order in which your skills activate. So here you choose to use Blocker Bonney first, then you activate your Dom, then you get to go and use your leader Bonney, rest one of your opponent's characters. Frankly, that's a pretty good combo, and like I've said, this seems to be one of the reasons why this card was printed, one of the things it was designed for, so yeah, go ahead and do that, have a lot of fun, move on with your life. Okay, if my opponent attacks while my only active Don is in my cost area, can I use an event card or a skill or something that puts it on to rest without using this skill, and then use this the next time my opponent attacks? No. The effect always activates when your opponent attacks. Even if you don't activate a card, it can't be activated from that turn onwards. Now, this is a very important ruling because it also means that your opponent can essentially know what the deal is. They know this is the only time you're going to activate this, and they can plan accordingly. Little bit sad for the Bonney player. When my opponent's character attacks, if this character leaves the field due to that character's when attacking effect, can I still use this? No. If you block and you're taken out, that's fine, because the actual battle and blocking and all of that happens after the effects activate. But if you are taken out with an attacking effect, remember your opponent's effects activate before yours. They will activate, take you out, and then you're not available. You're not there anymore to actually use this, and that's a little bit sad. Now, we have a new Luffy coming around in this set. It's the one whose alternate art graces the front of the booster pack. And we've got, on your turn, when you play it, so on play, but it has to be on your turn, if your leader is multicolour, and you have 7 or fewer Dawn on the field, then during your opponent's next main phase, they have to rest one of their Dawn. So basically you play this, and during your opponent's next main phase, they have one less Dawn to play with, which sounds funny. Okay, so your opponent's got 7 or fewer Dawn, you play this, activate the on-play effect. At the start of your opponent's next main phase, if they have 8 or more Dawn, does your opponent rest one of their active Dawn? Yeah, of course. Of course they do. It doesn't matter how many Dawn they have when they go to rest the Dawn. What matters is how many Dawn they have when you play Monkey to Luffy. So as long as they've got 7 or less when you play Luffy, then they absolutely will rest one down at the start of their next main phase. Ha! That's kind of annoying and kind of funny. Now we have a new Roanoa Zoro, green Zoro, 4 cost, 4,000 power, counter plus 2k, another blocker. And during your opponent's turn, if this character would be rested by one of your opponent's effects, you can put one of your other characters rested instead. I should mention it is specifically your opponent's character effects, so if they rest it with an event card, you can't do this. But if one of your opponent's character skills would rest it, you can rest one of your other characters instead. Okay. Can I choose a character that cannot be rested? No. No, you can't. Nor can you activate this if you don't have any other characters. You must have a character that can be rested, and you must rest that character instead. If you cannot actually rest someone else instead, this doesn't work. Zoro gets rested. Now we got ourselves a new Charlotte put in here. This is 7 cost 5k, counter plus 1,000, and on play, Don -2. If your leader has a Big Mum Pirates trait, and your opponent has 6 or more Don on the field, you draw 2 cards. Then you play a Big Mum Pirate character with a cost of between 6 and 8,000 power from your hand. Okay. What's the ruling we're asking for here? Well, if my opponent's got 5 or fewer Don, can I just play a Big Mum Pirates character with a cost of 6 to 8 and not draw 2 cards? No. This is like the one we looked at a minute ago. It is a whole skill of draw 2 and play a character card. You don't have to do both if you can't do both, but you cannot do one unless you meet all of the requirements, which is Don -2, your leader is Big Mum, and your opponent has 6 or more Don on their field. Now, Sabo gets a new card in this set, coming back to help the Revolutionary Army and Dressrosa. 6 cost 6k, counter plus 2,000. We have another blocker. But if you have 15 or more cards in your trash, this card gets -3 cost in your hand. Lovely. Well, what if I've got 14 cards in my trash and I use Scarlet from EB-01? Another Dressrosa card, so very relevant, which says you may trash this character And then play a Dressrosa character of a cost of 3 or less other than Scarlet from your hand rested, and give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost for the turn. Yes! That totally works. And it's a bit of a weird one, but I kind of adore it. And actually, it definitely should work. Because you look at it, right? And Sabo has a cost of 6. And you've got 14 cards in the trash, so the cost isn't being reduced, it's just got a cost of 6. But then Scarlet activates, you trash Scarlet, at that exact moment, you have 15 cards in the trash. The second you have 15 cards in the trash, Sabo's cost comes down to 3 cost in hand. Then you look at your hand and go, oh, Sabo's a 3 cost, I can play it. The important thing here is you do not look to play Sabo until after you trash Scarlet. The second you trash Scarlet, you got 15 cards in the trash, Sabo becomes a 3 cost, then you look at your hand, you got a 3 cost Sabo, job's a good un. Really fun interaction, one that I hope to make use of one day. And then finally we got ourselves a Boa Hancock, the last new card we need to talk about here. And what we've got is a trigger that KOs an opponent's character of a cost of 4 or less, and an on-play that lets you discard a card with trigger from your hand, and then one of your opponent's rested leader or characters, other than Monkey D. Luffy, cannot become active until the end of your opponent's next end phase. Turn them off for a turn, it's quite nice. Well, can I choose a character other than my opponent's active character, Monkey D. Luffy? Yep, no issues there. Go right ahead. So there we go, that's what you need to know about Premium Booster 02, the new cards and the new rulings, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these, tell me what you're looking forward to from Premium Booster 02, tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @LeWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.